Morning for me. Good extra early morning to the west coast of North America. And good 20 minutes to 11 to the east coast, but not too far east. Like Halifax, I don't know what time it is there. I think you're ahead. And overseas, whatever time it is there. Hi. Coming back to say hey. Have some coffee. Got a McCafe today, which used to be sacrilegious in my country, but apparently no longer is. I totally forgot to bring up the chat thing too. Hang on a second. I'm professional, don't forget. I'm not even sure what my restream password is to do this. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Dun, dun. Just give me a second here. I'll talk. Don't worry. So we're going to talk about some fun stuff today, including what industry gives out the most awards. Marketing, advertising as one, or real estate. In anticipation for upcoming real estate gigs I have in the fall. Talking to you, Royal LePage. Coming to Winnipeg. It's going to be a good time. Let's say hello to some people. Ingrid. Hello, Ingrid. Always nice to see you. You just hop on here when I get to come on, and it makes me feel welcome. So thank you. It has been a while, so I'm glad to see you. Hamid, it's wonderful to see you as well. And Lou, turning in for the first time. Well, now there's pressure. Fine. I can do it. Don't worry. All right, let's talk about a couple of things today. And the one that got me. Oh, you want to get? Let's see. You just starting off with a banger of a question, Lou. And is this entertainment marketing or advertising? And the answer is yes. You know, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole of marketing versus advertising, and you know, what falls under what. Entertaining someone is a thing you do, and within that is there branding, because what happens is if I'm at a concert or like a sponsorship, part of entertainment. So if the entertainment is sponsored, then is that part of that? Is the entertainment itself from the brand of the company? So it's very, very interesting. Adoy, hello, and hello to you. Also, if I do pronounce anybody's name wrong, please let me know so I can correct it. I do try my best, but also I'm a white dude from Canada, so I'm working on it. Working on making sure I get all the pronunciations right. So let's talk about the industry and marketing. And I was led to this from a post from my buddy Ron Tite on LinkedIn. Let me see if I can pull this in here. There it is. It says, if Major League Baseball were run by the Cannes Film Festival of Advertising. And it says 42 MVP winners in American League. Senior Circuit wins 37 winners. It's a perfect thing. I've always had an issue with marketing and advertising awards, or a lot of industry awards, and the problem is, recognition is a wonderful thing. It makes us go. It can fuel things. It can make us feel good about what we've done. Having accolades from our industry or our peers is a wonderful thing, and let's get that out of the way first. It's a problem when everybody wins all the time. And that once I saw a QR code campaign, that's right, a QR code campaign in the TTC, in the Toronto Transit system here. And they won for the use of mobile advertising with QR codes, and there was no signal in the subways. So the campaign didn't work. Doesn't matter. Still won. And I just got a flyer. I got a unaddressed direct mail. The industry that keeps it alive obviously is real estate. And I got a flyer, again, as you get every day from people in real estate, that said this couple was a top 1%. top 1%, which is the real estate's favorite thing to use. It's always the top 1%. Which you might want to get away from that phrase eventually. And it had an asterisk. Oh, and I live for the asterisks of advertising. And so you look at the asterisks and you go through there, and it says they are the top 1% of real estate sellers in their office at their brokerage. Top 1% of realtors in their office. How many realtors are in their office? 8? Ethics are not a renewable resource. I understand doing things for the bio. Go look at mine. But there's a point. And it just sticks there right into my side too. It kills me. David wants to know, what software do I use to stream? So I'm using right now a couple of things. One is Ecamm, which is the software I'm using in front of me here to do the video part, like on the Mac that I have. And then the software I use to stream this out to we're going live right now to LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. I don't know why I'm going live to Twitch, but hey, LinkedIn is where all the people come from mostly. But I'm using Restream. I think it's Restream.io, I think. And this allows me to stream out to multiple platforms. So Ecamm plus Restream are the two. And then I'm using Stream Deck, which is the buttons here where I can bring in my music or switch it over to a webinar. Hey, look, it's my Pro Nexus webinar I did. And it allows me to jump back and forth. Very happy with all this stuff as well. Ingrid says, do we need awards to feel good? Do we need this for recognition? I not necessarily saying need. Different things make people feel good. But in an industry, there are certainly ways to do that. And I do like, obviously, voting has its issues as well. Sometimes it becomes a popularity contest, but then again, is that what it's supposed to be? If it's about a certain type of award. So there's a balance for sure. William says, podcasting, short or long form content, go, lobbing the softball for you to see. Yeah, I know what you're doing. Go check out William's podcast, by the way. Great stuff, not just for the hospitality industry, but just business in general. And as you know, William, my opinion on any type of content, not just podcasting or video or books or posts or anything, is that it has to resonate and be compelling to a certain amount. Like when we started our show, when Allison and I started the podcast, I don't even remember when it was. Was it 2014 or something? And we decided to do the show really for one reason, and that's because we wanted to. That I thought when I pitched it to Allison that it would be really interesting because I've never had conversations quite like the ones I have with Allison on every level. And we thought that it would be fun if we just riffed on things and put it up as a show. And there wasn't a lot like that out there. It doesn't really matter if it was. It's what we were good at. We were good at riffing. I'm all over the place, and Allison brings in reason and intellect and humor. And we just had a great pairing. And we were being told a lot of things. So I want you to take everything I say with a grain of salt as well, because, it's my opinion on these type of things. But our first episode was 59 minutes long. And we just talked until we were done. And then we put it out there. And the first comment on the first post of our first show we got from an unlistener. Their comment said, 59 minutes? ? I haven't listened yet, but 59 minutes? Come on. Implying it was too long. So this person who had not even listened to the show was disgusted by the length of the show. Our first book review was 1 star by somebody who didn't read it, who just disagreed with the concept, the thought of somebody writing a book about building relationships in business was wrong. So this is a long-winded way to say that I would trust your gut. And if you don't know what your gut is saying, or you're not getting any kind of read, then what is comfortable? Like, we shifted from the show being an hour, or again, whatever time that was, to about 25, 30 minutes. And that was because we also recorded a month's worth of episodes in one day. We'd book a studio and go in and do it because I was on the road a lot. And it made sense. We'd have podcast day, and it was fun, and I looked forward to it every month. And we started shortening it, though, to say we could do half hour 4 times instead of trying to record 4 hours of content straight. It's a lot. It can take a lot out of you. And you don't want the last episode of the day you record to be the worst because you're getting tired or drained, because that comes out as its own episode in 4 weeks. And you want each episode to have that punch. So the advice I would give wouldn't be about length even. It would be about finding that length and frequency, one line, that one axis, with your resonating content. So you want to find that sweet spot. So this goes for podcasting, meaning length of show, but it also goes for content, meaning a length of article. Same thing. Same thing for video as well. It's where you feel your best. Same thing with writing a newsletter. If you're writing a weekly newsletter right now and you're hitting the wall and it's not going, switch it to bi-weekly. Give yourself some grace and space. Content is hard. Consistent quality content is next to impossible. Like, I couldn't be a marketer today. I honestly couldn't be a marketer today. Like, at a company doing stuff. I'd burn out. I don't even know if I'd even burn out. I would jump before I burnt out. I couldn't. This world of expiring content that people put their time and effort and their love and their brain and their creativity into, just for it to fall off the cliff in 24, 48 hours, it's a game I don't want to play. And I know that's what our environment is and our landscape a lot is now, but it's a game I don't want to play. That I don't want to create content that is for the day. Like, I blog every 4 years, and I send out a newsletter every 4 years. So it's nothing new for me and for Allison, but I just think that you need to be the one that's feeling driven, that you need the one to feeling that at the end of the day, before listeners hear it or viewers or readers, you can sit back and say, yeah, that was what I got. Now, if you're a perfectionist or that type of person that is just never wanting to ship a piece of content because it's not perfect, that's a problem. But there's a middle ground there. And I really think we can be there in a middle ground part of this. Let me go back to the comments here. Sorry, I got onto a rant. William, thank you for teeing that one up. Renee says both are like kids' sports now. Everyone gets a participation trophy. Yeah, but Renee, who's buying the participation trophy for them? It's us. So I don't think it's a generational thing. I really think it's an everybody thing. Alyssa's here and says, by the way, Alyssa, I love your earrings in your photo. I'm a business owner about to embark on a content side project I'm super excited about. Any advice for balancing that with client work, sticking with it? Yeah, if I'm reading this right, Alyssa, and tell me if I'm wrong, that it's something for a content for your own business that you're excited about, but you still got client work. And I want to make sure that I'm getting that right. But if that's the case, I need you to treat yourself as a client. So you literally, I mean, if you book in time, if you're using a scheduling or scheduler Calendly or whatever that is, I want you to book yourself as a client in there. Like a content time, this time. Yes, that, not only is it super exciting, I'm excited about it too. I don't even know what the project is. It is exciting. That excitement is the point. I don't know how to put this. The excitement is the point. Why do we do this if we don't enjoy or get excited or feel happy or relieved or productive? Like, why are we doing our own crap if it sucks all the time, every time? Like, if I wanted to hate what I do, I'd go work for somebody else. At least I'd have a paycheck. Like, doing your own thing is hard. And shout out to anybody who does. Being an entrepreneur, like I've always said that entrepreneur is Latin for bad employee, and it's true. I knew I wasn't going to work somewhere very early on. That's my own issues, but that excitement, Alyssa, that I just want you to make sure to not lose the excitement part. I don't want you to feel guilt for working on a project that's exciting while you got to work with your client work. But I would schedule it, honestly, because your clients also still deserve your best that you have in the moment and at the time. But slot yourself in as one of those clients. And by the way, congrats and good luck on it. Ken says, it does not seem you refer to any notes when you do your live events. How do you practice rolling along without tripping up for 1.5 hours? That's my secret, Ken. I trip up the entire time. I'm not sure where I'm going with things as I'm saying them on stage. Now, the secret for me is the slides are like my notes. One of the reasons I have a slide, obviously, is to make a visual point. I use it for impact and timing. But the main thing is it keeps me on track to getting certain points. Like, I can riff all day. I could go on stage and just start riffing like Gary Vaynerchuk, and I love Gary, and Gary doing that up there is just brilliant. And that's a riff. So he's riffing, and he's one of the best at it. And for me, my riff, I try to contain it because I do a pre-call with an event, and we talk about things they kind of want covered. Like I have like right here my notes right here, different calls, and so I have to make sure that if I go off on a riff, because every minute you riff is a minute away from the content you were planning, that I have to make sure there's certain bases I still want to cover because I'm a sucker to get laughs. I love when an audience laughs because it's two things. It's ego, that I was able to make them laugh, and it's joy because they're happy. And that's not a good thing all the time. Like that, I'm not up there to be a comedian. I'm up there to be funny, but I need to make some kind of impact for it. And so, and I've always riffed. Like in school and stuff, I didn't memorize it. And it's a missing synapse in my brain for two things. One is about be nervous, which I don't get. Again, not a skill. That's always how my brain is. And then two, it was I didn't rehearse or practice because, well, one, I'm lazy in that way a lot, but I'm also really fortunate, really privileged and lucky that I have a skill that I can just get up there. It can bite you for sure, and I've been very lucky to make a living off of doing this, but I take the industry, I take my job and what I do, my craft, very seriously. And I want to make sure that at the end of the day, it's not if somebody laughed or even clapped. It's if the client was happy I showed up to the event. You know, they pay my bill, they pay the fee, and obviously part of their decision is if I was the best speaker after the event was the feedback from the audience and them talking about it, and that certainly works to my advantage. But I can't just go rogue, so I got to stay on something first. So there's a certain level to that, Ken. Thank you for that question. I do love talking about I'm speaking. Speaking of events, there's Rhonda, one of my favorite people in the world of in event and life. And expiring content game I don't want to play. Exactly. I don't want to. And I'm glad I got it right. Julia. So nice seeing you, Julia. How are you? I agree creating content is a huge hill, but there's an art to creating content and learning the art of splicing and dicing so that content can be constantly repurposed. Create once, market forever. It's how I stay or try to stay fresh and excited. Julia, I could not agree with you more. This is the only way I would do content today. And Julia, I'm so glad you said this. Because like this is the only way I can survive. As an example, like I could do this right now. So creating content, one of those things is finding, where your grain is, going with your grain and saying this feels natural. So is it writing? Is it just audio? Is it video? Is it tweets? Short form text, short form video, long form text, audio. What did it? In-person talk? All the ways you could preach your words to people, that when you find the good thing. So let's say this I like this for content wise. The stage for me is what I want to do, and I can that can be spliced into content, and I've used it and it's certainly worked for me. But it's like this. So I could do this for a half an hour or an hour, and then I could either send this to somebody or myself and to take out splices and use it for little chunks of content. And that was the only way I could look at it. So this would stay long form and long tail, as they say. And the whole video would be put on YouTube, or it's being broadcast on it now. And then the other way is doing the little bite-sized chunks. So that really is, it's the repurposing. It's the reduce, reuse, recycle move. So Julia, thank you. And again, great seeing you, Julia. I'm glad you popped in. Let's just thank you. I quit my corporate job to have more fun with what I do. So far, so good. Congrats. I'm not saying I want everybody to quit their corporate job. I'm just saying congrats when you do. Welcome to this world. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's always an adventure. Good luck with it. Anything I can help you with, let's just drop me a line. If you want me to take a look at something, please just send me a note on LinkedIn. I'm happy to look for you. All right. Who else we got here? Hello, Kendall. Love the content, Scott. Thank you. I still want to talk about the Best Friends Animal Conference today, too, because it was amazing, and I want to talk to you about it. But we have a lot of comments in here, so it's great. I feel there should be generally accepted principles of ethics, almost like accounting, when it comes to self-assessed awards and marketing. Today, I feel prospective clients are looking for an authentic investment built on genuine connection. I always look at the asterisks to see the scale, how the award was determined. Thank you. There was a speaker in my industry that had in his bio that he was a Pulitzer Prize nominated author. Now, the Pulitzer is a writing award given to writing that changes the brain, right? That is the epitome of writing, of journalism. Like, the Pulitzer has been given out to heroic journalists. Have shed light on issues in the world that would not have been shown or seen. And people that can change lives with their writing. And this guy had it in there in his bio. And I'm like, he doesn't write anything like that. What's going on? So I looked into it. Turns out that anybody can submit a nomination for a Pulitzer with $50 or whatever the application fee is, and nominate anybody can nominate anything. So somebody nominated. So I looked. And I asked him about it. And he said, my publisher nominated me. And then I looked at his publisher. He's self-published. So he nominated himself. And then had the audacity to say he's a nominated person along with, because the actual official nominations list is like, it's like the Oscars, right? Here are the nominees. Well, he wasn't on that list. It was just mailed in. And it was for a book on YouTube about going viral on YouTube. Like, get the out of here. So Kendall, you're right. I'm the same thing. I really think that ethics are not a renewable resource. You don't get to re-up every quarter. And that is it. And you know what? They all go into the shelf. You go into an office somewhere and there's your Clios, there's your awards, and yay, we've got it. And it's a nice night out. Great. What's the problem? It's just ethics. That's what it comes down to a lot of times. So it's because not the award, it's the way it's used and the way it's promoted. So I do agree. What's up, Dom? Good to see you. Happy Friday to you as well. Tim says, morning, Scott. New camera setup or lighting change looks more clear today. Yeah, certainly not me. Like, I'm not more clear today. Yeah, it's a different lighting in the camera setting. So sometimes, like Jacob, our middle kid, is in at university right now at U of T in Toronto, and needed it. He's in pre-law, and needed it to film some mock trial stuff. So we took the camera to Toronto and used it there. And so then also sometimes we change the settings. So I'm not sure everywhere I can get back the setting that I need. But we're trying different lighting. And look, I got a little strip light LED. I'm like cool with the kids now. But anyway, yeah. So I tried. The problem with the comments, I forget what I said, but Dom did say spot on, so I do appreciate that. Hey, ditto, Rhonda. Yeah, it's the Mutual Admiration Fan Club. Dom says, new in my role, under 100 days, or around 100 days, that repurposed content is what I'm preaching, recording a few hours of video footage in the office with our exec team. There you go. And that's it. So it goes along. It's exactly what it would work. And that's what Julia was saying. That's really it. Like, you're also not going to be asking other people outside of the content team to be continuously doing things like this. You got to pick your spots. But I'm telling you, you get some good footage of an interview. You can run with that in a bunch of different ways. So I do agree. Michelle says, we all know any such media or industry navel-gazing awards are incestuous. Well, that's the problem, right? It's not like the problem is you get all these other things with the awards as well. Plus, there's like, well, who sponsored it? Who bought the most tables at the gala? Right? It's like if you want to get like the certain newspaper, like we have it in our town, the gold medal award from our paper, which is called the Oakville Beaver, by the way. And my first job was delivering papers for the Oakville Beaver, so I'm amazing. But to win an award, also, well, have you advertised with us? And also, when you win the award, do you want to place an ad about that? It's all money, sadly. That's what it comes down to. Randy, the living legend Pennington. Meeting and getting to know Randy is one of the highlights of me being in the speaking industry. And so it's so nice to see you on here, Randy. I love Randy. He said, great to see you. People promoting themselves with dubious awards like best-selling author. Yep, it sounds like some folks we know. Yeah, very much so in our industry as well. And it's just like the share of the stage with comments or it's a lot of times it's at the book sales. Randy, there was one person, you might know this person, in the industry that said, I guarantee a standing ovation at every talk. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know if Gandhi got a standing ovation at every talk. Like, what? First of all, I don't think those guarantees work in our industry. Like, if I suck, I'll give you the money back. Well, the event's over. Now, the damage is done. The guarantee doesn't work. It's not the way. It's not a burger. It's not going to work that way. So he guaranteed it. And so I'm like, I got to go find some videos of this guy's talks. And of course, I know, Randy, I already know you know the answer just by being in the industry. But how he did it was at the very end of his talk. He's like, all right, everybody stand up and stretch. High five each other. You've been a great, great audience. Thank you for having me. And walks off the stage. And they're already standing. That's not a standing ovation. That's clapping while standing. Yeah, see? And if you used a different technique other than what I just said too, please share, because that's the technique I saw in a couple of videos. Get the audience to stand and then say, I'm done. Like, come on. Julie says, glad to be here, Scott, watching you from Vegas this morning. Hey, say hi to Vegas. We haven't been there since the pandemic. After going 100 and something times in 12 years or 13 years. Julia, where in Vegas? Where are you staying? I'd love to know. They built like a couple $1 billion resorts since I've been there. Circa is open on Fremont now. Resorts World opened. So, yeah. Things are changing. Cosmo sold to MGM. Bally's is changing to, I think, Horseshoe. Lots of things changing. And I haven't been. So, yeah. That's good to hear. Also, clapping and ovations just mean that people agree. You can tell them what they want to hear, and they clap more for themselves, feeling smart. Yeah, and look, I also want to say, look, myself and like Randy, people like, we get applause for our job. That's rare. Like, there's some jobs that get applause, athletes or musicians or celebrities or something, but some of those get booed. Like, I don't get heckled. Right? Those type of things. So, like, don't get me wrong. The clapping and the laughter and the once in a while standing ovation or something is just like, that's so cool. I love it. It's wow. It's just like, I get to do this for a living. It's the coolest thing in the world. But yeah, there's certainly ways you can make a room feel smart. And I think one of the reasons I don't get asked back all the time too is like, I don't necessarily do that. I challenge the audience. I try to speak truth to power. I want to make people think. And if I can do that, I think I've accomplished something for the event. Trump don't judge me just like a resort with a casino. I didn't think Trump had a casino. I thought it was one of the only properties on the strip that does not. Unless you meant to say without. But if you meant to say without, you can also stay at Vidara. Yeah, and like, please clap. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot of worse professional things when it comes to then kind of bombing on stage. So I do get it. So anyway, I want to talk to you about this event I did recently. And it was the Best Friends Animal Shelter Conference. And so I drove down to it. And because I get to drive everywhere now. I love it. It's awesome. And I just, the people at this event. So yeah, so without, yes. So also Vidar, love Vidar too. It was great. Also stayed at the, I think the Renaissance by the Convention Center too. I'm also good with casinos as well. But yes. So Best Friends Conference. So Best Friends Animal Shelter organization is an incredible organization that Allison and Tess have been to a couple times in Utah. And one of the things they hold is this animal conference shelter for people that run rescues and animal shelters. And they have, a big education program and support. And like, so Best Friends is this big organization and one that I aspire to be like. And they, at this conference, they asked me to speak. And I was so touched they would, so flattered they would. And so I went to it, and it filled my cup so much it was overflowing. The humans at this event. So first of all, the Best Friends people, all the way top down, were some of my favorite people I've dealt with at events, and they were just so grateful I was even there, which is always weird for me because it's like what I do. I love doing it. And they're so wonderful to work with, so wonderful and understanding and appreciative of everything, and adored all of them. And then I got to meet the attendees that run shelters and stuff. Met people from all over. I aspire to be these people. I truly adore them. Like we have 5 rescues in our house, but we're starting the trek towards it. But I don't know. It's hard to find some greater people on the planet than those that help those that can't talk about it. That you help creatures that can't put it on Instagram. They can't tweet about it. They can't give you a review on Yelp. They're not doing it for likes. And I not only do I find that refreshing, it's vital. And I adore that industry. So if I know I connect with a bunch of them on LinkedIn. So if you're watching now, I meant what I said at the event, and I mean it now, that you make the world better, and that's huge. And I really appreciate that for everybody that does that, and people who weren't there as well. Shout out to Lisa Scarborough at in Savannah Coastal Pet Rescue as well. It's a wonderful calling, and we'll be at that point as well. We can't wait for us to open ours and our rescue as well. Anyway, it was fun. Thank you for all the comments today. It was a good hello, a good break in the morning. It's nice to see everybody. It's been a while. And yeah, I'm thinking about doing something potentially weekly, but I don't know yet. We'll see. We're just enjoying the summer, and I hope you are, wherever you are. And teens, I had it right there. I had it. I could have said the animals did it without wanting an industry award. How did I drop that? I'm rusty. It's the summer. I'm off the stage. I'm rusty. Dean with the perfect closer. And they don't do it for the awards, exactly. But it still worked. It's the Dean, you That's the close. That's the close I was going for. Thank you, everybody. Wonderful seeing everybody for coming in today. So, some old friends and some new ones. Appreciate you all. And we'll see you. I'll see if I'll come on a couple times next week. I don't know if there's a notification button like there is on YouTube that notifies you want to go live, but there is one on YouTube. And I've never said this in my life, but if you want to like or comment or hit that button, and then you'll know I go live. There we go. Thank y'all. I hope you have a good end of today and a good weekend, and we'll see you next